The once homeless Giorgia Meloni is now one of the wealthiest women in politics today. She has gone from having no roof over her head to owning a home filled with items made of pure gold. What financial secrets could she be hiding? This is the trillionaire life of Giorgia Meloni. The beautiful Giorgia Meloni was born on the 15th of January 1977 in Rome. Her dad, Francesco Meloni, came from Sardinia, while her mother, Anna Paratore, was raised in Sicily. Her paternal grandparents were Nino Meloni, a radio director, and Zoe Incroci, who was actually a famous actress at the time. So it looked a bit like she was born into a fairly comfortable family. But somehow, life happened to Meloni and her family. Her dad split from the family and remarried when she was just about a year old and moved to the Canary Islands. Yeah, let's just say it almost ruined her childhood because he was pretty much a deadbeat dad. In 1995, her dad got a prison sentence for drug trafficking in Spain, and after visits on and off here and there, Giorgia decided to cut ties with him at age 11. Now, her mum had to raise Giorgia and her older sister Ariana all alone in the working-class district of Garbatella in Rome. As you would imagine, it was pretty tough, and Meloni has talked about it a couple of times. She even mentioned once that there was one time that they were completely homeless for a while, but somehow they got a small place to call home and Meloni kept going to school. Well, I guess now we know she wasn't a nepo baby. After her primary and middle school, she attended the Amerigo Vespucci Technical School. This is a vocational tech school in Rome where people could major in tourism and hospitality, but it wasn't exactly your regular grand institution. She graduated in 1996, and smart girl as she was, she got a diploma in foreign languages with a perfect 60/60 grade point. Way to go, girl. But even before then, Meloni started to develop a sort of interest for politics and political issues. It all started in 1992, when she was just 15 years old. She joined the youth wing of the Italian social movement. This was a right-wing party founded by supporters of former fascist leader Benito Mussolini. Around the same time, she also founded a student group called Gli Antenati to protest education reforms proposed by the minister Rosa Russo Iervolino. Did someone say rebellion? Come on, it was for a good cause, I think. In 1996, she became the national leader of Azione Studentesca, the political organization called Student Action, and began to speak for students in a government forum. Just 2 years later, she won local primaries and got elected to the Provincial Council of Rome. 2002, she came in hotter and became national director, and in 2004, the first female president of Youth Action, which is the youth arm of the National Alliance. Take that, male dominance. One of the most inspiring things about Meloni is that during those years, she supported herself with little gigs as a babysitter, waitress, and bartender at, the Romans will know this one, Rome's Piper Club. By the mid-2010s, Meloni wasn't only book smart, she was politics smart, street smart. In 2016, she even ran for mayor of Rome while she was heavily pregnant. Hormones could have gotten a little crazy there. Yeesh. Well, she didn't win, but she finished third, and that was when people started to figure she wasn't playing around. Even after 2 years, things didn't exactly go well, as Brothers of Italy only got around 4% of the vote, which was actually good progress from practically nothing. It was from that moment that they started having some say in parliament. Fast forward to July 2022, the almighty government under Mario Draghi collapsed when he resigned, and snap elections were scheduled for September. The Brothers of Italy was actually the only major party that refused to join Draghi's government. And guess what? That election changed everything. Meloni's party alone got about 26% of the vote, as against just about 4% a few years earlier. In almost no time, the Brothers of Italy were now at the forefront of a center-right coalition with League and Forward Italia, and had also taken up a majority in both houses of parliament. Women can really do anything they put their mind to, can't they? Except reach the top cupboard, of course. Come October 20th, 2022, after parliamentary leaders were chosen, official consultations began with President Mattarella, and guess who the coalition presented as their candidate? October 21st, she was formally invited to form a government, and she accepted. The very next day, on October 22nd, 2022, she took her oath at the Quirinal Palace and made history. The woman standing in front of them was Italy's first female prime minister and the first to lead a far-right-leaning coalition since World War II. Now, this is what feminism is about. Not who gets to cook the meals at home. But seriously, Meloni really does inspire everyone, especially women. Young women. Even I feel inspired. I should probably go get a real job. Apart from her childhood that almost went wrong, and all the time she picked herself up after, Giorgia has also had some very controversial moments, especially because she holds strong opinions on certain social issues. She said it a couple of times that she's against euthanasia, which is a means of intentionally ending someone's life to relieve them from extreme pain or suffering, usually known as mercy killing. She is also against same-sex marriage and same-sex parenting. In her view, a traditional family should be made up of one man and one woman. She's also not a big fan of globalism. Oh, and the Trump supporters are going to love this one. When it comes to immigration, she once proposed a naval blockade, which is a way of stopping boats from entering or leaving a specific area, all in the purpose of stopping illegal migrants from entering Italy. But somehow, that plan was never actually implemented. But since then, people have called her xenophobic and Islamophobic. But Mrs. Prime Minister didn't seem to care much, because regardless all of this talk and controversy going around about her, her influence on the world hasn't slowed down, not even a little bit. In 2024, Forbes ranked her the third most powerful woman in the world. Time magazine also listed her among the most influential people globally, and in 2025, Politico named her the most powerful person in Europe. But enough of political talk. How wealthy is Giorgia Meloni? Is she just rich, or my kids each have private jets? Kind of rich? What does she wear? What does she drive? Does she have golden toilet seats like Kim Kardashian? To be honest, she never really shows off anything, and it's probably because she often remembers and is still connected to her little beginnings. However, the people who know that when she was much younger, she would travel to the Canary Islands and Madrid to spend time with her family. And now that she's Prime Minister, she attends a lot of international summits, which may or may not have turned into personal vacations. Wink. As seen on the news, she came out looking her best in recent trips, the G20 events in India, Brussels meetings, and a summit in Finnish Lapland. Can you hear the sound of rich laughs from here? I can. At one of these big events, she came in a black kurta set with a mauve stole. She also accessorized with a silver knotted necklace and a bejeweled black clutch. You should see the bangle and ring. Just those two would buy my entire house. And you should go look up where she lives. It's the Chigi Palace. It's an actual palace and former noble residence in Rome, which is the seat of the Council of Ministers and the official residence of every Prime Minister of Italy. But in March 2023, she decided to level up and buy her own place. She signed a preliminary contract to buy a huge villa of 433 square meters in the same city she grew up in, and she paid about $1.2 million for that place. The villa has 2 floors with 2 really large living rooms, each a huge kitchen, a walk-in closet that could as well be a room on its own, a 100-meter square garden plus a swimming pool. As a matter of fact, just before this purchase, she sold her 2017 apartment in Torino for about $700,000. When it comes to rides and cars, Meloni hasn't exactly been in our faces. At her inauguration, Meloni was said to have arrived in an Alfa Romeo Giulia limousine. Meanwhile, she had been seen one time driving a German limousine as well, an ultra-luxe Maybach S680 that she bought for almost $200,000. Just imagine her in those reclining, heated, ventilated, and massaging seats. And if you're wondering whether she has any private jets, she does. But don't tell anyone I told you so, because Giorgia never really wants anyone to know that kind of stuff about her. She's only been seen in a $59 million Dassault Falcon and an Airbus that costs about $54 million. And these jets have everything: lounge areas, dining tables, sleeping divans, and even a private VIP stateroom or conference setup. Best believe she's definitely got more where that came from. There you have it, the luxurious life of Italy's first female Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni. What do you think about her? Do you think she will go on to do even bigger things? Let me know in the comments down below. Click on the next video card displaying on the screen to see what we have for you next.